Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So the Republican House members just continue to punch themselves in the face. We'll go with face. I think you all know it's another body part, but I don't want to get demonetized on this video. So they held another clown show of an impeachment hearing, and one of the witnesses implicated three Republican lawmakers in crimes, including a foreign election interference operation. So here's a portion of that witness's opening statement implicating Congressman Pete Sessions.
Shortly after my arrest on October 9, 2019 to now, I have been trying to share the irrefutable truth with you. The American people have been lied to by Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and various cohorts of individuals in government and media positions. They created falsehoods to serve their own interests, knowing it would undermine the strength of our nation. From November 2018 to October 2019, I was a key participant and a witness to numerous efforts to prove that Joe and Hunter Biden were linked to corruption in Ukraine. Rudy Giuliani, on behalf of then President Donald Trump, tasked me with a mission to travel the globe, finding dirt on the Bidens so that an array of networks could spread misinformation about them, thus securing the 2020 election for Donald J. Trump. Ironically, when I was arrested, my original indictment linked me to an individual referred to as unindicted co-conspirator 1. We now know this individual to be Congressman Pete Sessions, who sits on this very committee today. Today I ask you to consider the following. In nearly a year traveling the world and interviewing officials in different countries, I found precisely zero evidence of the Biden's corruption in Ukraine. No credible source has ever provided proof of criminal activity, not the FBI, CIA, nor the NSA. No respectable Ukrainian official has ever said that the Bidens did anything illegal, including former President Poroshenko and former Prosecutor General Yuri Lutsenko. Even when CEO of Burisma, Mykola Zlochevsky, was offered a deal by Rudy Giuliani in exchange for information on the Bidens, he provided none, because there is none. The only information ever pushed on the Bidens in Ukraine has come from one source, and one source only: Russia and Russian agents. The impeachment proceedings that bring us here now are predicated on false information spread by the Kremlin. Everyone involved knew they were sharing lies. From Trump and Giuliani's shadow diplomacy, through my missions to Ukraine and elsewhere, to members of a BLT team, a group convened for the sole purpose of investigating and damaging the Bidens.
So that was Lev Parnas. As you guys might remember, he was Rudy Giuliani's former friend. He was his co-conspirator. But after Parnas was arrested for other unrelated crimes, he decided, being friends with Donald Trump and Giuliani is probably not in my best interest. So he's been out there shouting the truth from the rooftops. He was intimately involved in the effort to try to dig up dirt on the Bidens, to try to swing the 2020 election to Trump, as he's stating. And so what you heard him saying is his personal knowledge. He personally witnessed all of this, took part in it. This guy has no dog in the fight. It's not like he's saying these things to get a reduced sentence. He already served his time. And then later in the hearing, he implicated two more lawmakers, Senator Ron Johnson and former Congressman Devin Nunes. Devin Nunes, who now works for Trump's failing social media site, Liar Social.
Former President Trump and Rudy Giuliani flew to Ukraine to look for corruption on the part of President Biden. Did you find any?
No.
And following your Ukraine trip, Senate Republicans, Senator Grassley and Johnson, released their Burisma report, which the New York Times concluded was, quote, unproven allegations that echo an active Russian disinformation campaign, end quote. Mr. Parnas, are the unproven allegations that are at the heart of the Republican report the same fabricated claims that Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani sent you to Ukraine to go dig up?
Yes.
Last summer, you wrote a letter to Congress noting that when the media started to get tired of the smoke screens and using this, one of the authors of the Republican Burisma report would be your, quote, guy in the Senate to push all the information, end quote. What did you mean by that?
Senator Ron Johnson was our guy in the Senate. It was told to me that when we push the information, he's going to push it in the halls of Congress.
So when the media was getting skeptical about pushing disinformation after they've proven it wrong time and time again, the plan was to have a U.S. Senator, Ron Johnson, to push that disinformation even further.
Correct, because we had Congressman Nunes already doing it, so Senator Ron Johnson jumped on board.
This Congress, both Chairman Comer and Chairman Jordan, have centered this entire sham impeachment hearing on an FBI tip sheet. This tip sheet made wild claims about bribery that didn't even come close to being backed up. And in fact, it's all being proved to be one big lie. Mr. Parnas, is the allegation in the FBI tip sheet based on the same fabricated claims that Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani flew you to Ukraine to dig up?
Yes.
I also want to make it clear that the informant allegedly behind this tip sheet is facing criminal charges for lying about the Biden family and was a known fraud for years before that. The same fabricated claim kept popping up and getting smacked down over and over again. In fact, our colleagues at the Foreign Affairs Committee did some amazing work on this investigation and found that this lie dates back to December 2015, almost 10 years ago. Do you happen to know the article that I'm referring to?
I don't know the exact article, but I do know that the slide has started way back in 2015.
Started about 10 years ago. It was an article entitled, quote, "The Ukrainian Scam of the Biden Family," end quote. And it was posted to a Russian language media website registered in a city in Russian-occupied Crimea. Mr. Parnas, do you have any doubt that this fabrication claim, the claim that Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani sent you to Ukraine to try to dig up more information on, is part of Russian propaganda and an effort to destabilize Ukraine and undermine our democracy?
As I said here today, I have zero doubt that Russia's involved. This is a Russian campaign to interfere in our elections.
So yeah, there's fraud, there is corruption taking place, and a whole lot of it is being perpetrated by Republican members of Congress. And remember, Senator Ron Johnson was one of 8 Republican members of Congress who flew to Russia on July 4th of 2018 for some unknown reason. They literally spent our Independence Day sucking up to Vladimir Putin. So we really should not be surprised that Ron Johnson and Nunes were doing the bidding of Russia. And the Republican shit show continued with one GOP witness testifying from prison. I am not even kidding. Former Hunter Biden business partner Jason Galanis, I think is how you say his name, he testified remotely from an Alabama lockup where he's serving 14 years for defrauding a Native American tribe. This is the caliber of witnesses Republicans have to pick from. Even Fox News is getting tired of this. Newsmax, all the right-wing outlets, they are calling out Republicans for such a monumental failure of an inquiry. One Fox host was quoted as saying that Republicans just keep holding the same hearing over and over again. So sad. Hashtag sad. And then there's this. There was a Democratic lawmaker named Moskowitz. He called out the chairman of this group, the Republican chairman, James Comer, and basically held his feet to the fire and called his bluff on whether or not they're going to impeach.
And so I just think we should do it today. Let's just call for it. I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman. I want to help you out. You can second it, right? Like, make the motion to impeach President Biden. Go ahead. It's your turn. You second it. No, nothing. Okay, we got nothing. So I want to, with my last couple minutes, show the American people that they're never going to impeach Joe Biden. It's never going to happen because they don't have the evidence. Okay, this is a show. It's all fake. They just want to do these hearings. It's not leading to impeachment. They're lying to their base on Newsmax and Fox, leading these people to believe that they're going to eventually impeach the president. It's not going to happen at all, ever. Period. They don't even have the votes, even if they had it in committee. They don't have the votes on the floor. They know that. They got members resigning rather than taking a vote on the fake, faux impeachment. Just ask Ken Buck, who said the speaker ain't going to get me to take an unconstitutional impeachment vote.
So there you see a Democrat saying, I'll call for it. Let's call for Biden's impeachment. You second the motion, James Comer. so that we can move this along. Won't do it because he knows they have zero evidence. Now, I'm not saying Hunter Biden is squeaky clean, but Hunter Biden never served in the administration. I am no fan of Hunter Biden. I think if you turn your back on your child as he's done with his daughter, I don't care who her mother is. I don't care how she came into this world. You have a child, you owe her your time and your energy and whatever else you can give. And he has completely shunned that little girl. So I got no love loss for Hunter Biden. Don't think he's a good person whatsoever. But he never served in the administration. There has been absolutely zero evidence tying Joe Biden to Hunter Biden's business dealings and any kind of pay to play, any kind of, business dealings that led to changes in US policy in the government. And that's because a lot of Hunter Biden's dealings were going on when Joe Biden was not in office. He was not the vice president. He was not the president yet. So they've been coming up with nothing. They've got zero, bupkis, nada. So yeah, it's just such a clown show. I mean, these people are ridiculous. Republicans are such a joke. Anyway, I will let you know when I hear more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it, become a subscriber if you have not, become a donor if you possibly can, or leave a tip or super thanks. So appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.